All right, so let's take a look at these ones here. WinDbg Preview. Like I said, we used the old-fashioned WinDbg last time, and now we're going to use WinDbg Preview, which you can get from the Windows 10 store, and it's already on this machine, so I don't need to install it. We're going to run it as administrator, and we're going to try analyzing Notepad. Now, this might be a mistake. One thing I've learned is that Notepad is incredibly complicated, and Microsoft keeps changing it, and they've changed it again. I thought of Notepad as a simple program that wouldn't change, and that is not true. So anyway, I've updated it for the latest changes in Notepad. It is amazing how complicated Notepad is. But anyway, so this starts WinDbg Preview. This is the new graphical version of WinDbg, and it makes it a little bit easier to do a few things. So we can launch a process to analyze it with launch executable. And we can go find a Notepad, which is in C Windows 32. All right, I can't get there that way. It won't scroll. All right, let's try doing it this way. C. Oh, Windows System 32. Okay, that's my fault. Windows System 32. All right. System 32, Notepad is in here. There it is. Double-click that and you'll launch Notepad. All right, so it loads Notepad, and here's the libraries it loads. It loads ntdil and things like kernel 32 and GDI and all that jazz. And you notice that ntdil loads at this address ending in D3F1000, or it's a 64-bit address. Right, this is where it starts, and I think that's where it ends. So D391 is the part of that address worth noticing, and I think we just compare that to Process Monitor. Yep, so you can see it. So let's open Process Explorer, not Process Monitor, pardon me. Process Explorer, just so you can see how it compares. And I don't think it has to be an administrator, but I guess I'll run it as an administrator anyway, because I think, I launched Notepad as administrator because I ran that debugger as administrator. So this is why sometimes students can't find it. You have to run this as administrator too, or you won't be able to see it. So if you go to the bottom, there's Notepad. And if you go to the library like ntdil, it's got to be in this list somewhere. Sort by name. There it is, ntdil. Go to Properties. All right, and that number should match the number in the other debugger. Okay, so here it is loading at 77AD3F, and let's find which one of those is ntdil. There it is, this one, 77FAD. There it is, 77FAD 4105. And it's this one here, 77FAD 3F1. There we are. So it's matching. That's all I wanted to show you. It's another way to view the same thing. The debugger is showing you when it loads, and this is showing you where it is once it's loaded in Process Explorer. So we're done with that. And now we're going to do some stuff like setting breakpoints and such. So we can view the stack, and you don't have to use a keyboard command to do it, which would be K. You can do it this way, view stack. And then it puts it here in a sort of graphical animal, a little bit like Ollie. In fact, that is what Ollie is. Ollie does have the stack right there, so I'm now seeing the stack. Now it's currently hit a breakpoint, break instruction exception. It created a breakpoint in ntdil, which is the same thing all these things will do. It loads the program and breaks before launching it. So now we can move into it the same way we would in Ollie. It's a little bit, well, look, check for symbols first. X Notepad bang star. So examine for Notepad and symbols in Notepad, which is bang star. And there's some symbols in Notepad, initialize WinRT, set app type, and so on. There are some symbols. So let's try to find symbols that contain the word main. So let's put star main star and enter. And now we get a shorter list containing main. And the place where it launches is called WinMain. And this is something I just had to add to the project today. For some ungodly reason, Notepad has changed, and now it launches at WinMain, which is new to me, and I don't know what that's about, but that's what you have to use in the next step now. I made that note here from today. For some reason, now it's called WinMain. It might be worth Googling to find out what's going on with that, but Microsoft has changed something again. So we have to set a breakpoint there with BU Notepad bang WinMain on this program. On the older version of Notepad, it would be just WinMain. Notepad bang WinMain. All right. BU will set an unconditional breakpoint there. I think that's what the U is. But anyway, it sets a breakpoint. And you can see the breakpoints with BL, which is breakpoint list or something like that. And there it is. It shows you the breakpoint. And instead of the older one, it just give you this, it now gives you these buttons to disable and clear. So it gives you a little bit of graphical functionality, not much. All right. So you can run to the breakpoint. You could find a run button up there on another tab, or you can just use G for go. And it runs. And it hits the breakpoint. Breakpoint 0 hit, Notepad WinMain. So I've stopped at the breakpoint. Now I can view the loaded modules for Notepad with LM. And there they are. And notice, this will tell you whether they have symbols. And notice Notepad does have symbols. So Microsoft compiled Notepad with symbols, which is handy of them. A lot of these libraries are compiled without, don't have symbols. Kernel 32 does, and NTDIL does, has symbols. All right. You can do a stack trace with K, and you're just going to get the same information you see down here presented in the sort of text window, which is the addresses on the stack, which are, of course, the calling routines above this. And now we can find API calls that create files like we did before. We did X, NTDIL, star, create file, star, just like we did in the earlier version of this debugger. And again, I forgot the bang, NTDIL bang star create file. There we go. Now I find some create file functions like ng create file and zw create file and so on. All right. And so I want to put a breakpoint at zw create file. So it's BU, NTDIL, bang, ZW create file. There. All right, and now I should be able to do a BL to see the breakpoints. And there should be two of them. There's one at Notepad's WinMain, and there's one at NTDIL NT create file. And K will show me the stack trace for where I am. Oh, did I run to the breakpoint? I think I didn't. Yep, now I got to go to the breakpoint and then do the stack trace. So let's go again. And that's now going to move forward, and it's going to hit breakpoint 1 hit and NT create file, because when Notepad starts, it tries to create a file of some kind. And so now I can do a K to do the stack trace. And the stack trace is much bigger. I'm now 14 hexadecimal layers down instead of 4 and 5. And you can see it updated this graphical display in the corner too to show that the stack is much deeper now at that part of the program where it calls create file. All right. And you can view the threads, by the way. If you go back here, I want to find the numbers before the K. All right, I don't seem to have the image I expected to have there. Scroll back. Oh, the image above, there, up there. Scroll back to K, right. You see that 0:000. That means I'm running on the 0th processor in the 0th thread. So this is a simple situation. Sometimes you'll see multi-processors and multi-threads, processor cores and threads. But that's where I am right now. That's which thread I'm in. And you can see all the threads in the Notepad process with tilde. And there are 2 threads in the Notepad process. There were 3 when I did it earlier. Sometimes there's only 1. Threads are parts of the program that can move forward independently. Like I say, even Notepad is pretty complicated. So I can delete the breakpoints now. I could do it in command line, but I can just do it here. If I do BL to see the breakpoints, I can just clear them. Clear this one, and all that does is type BC0 for me, and clear this one, and all that does is type BC1. So, all the GUI's doing is typing some of the commands for you. All right, and then there's a flag defined. So that's all for this one. That's rudimentary things in the newer, prettier debugger. So let me stop this video.